Of course we all ride on wheels, but how much do you really know about those wheels? Well, in this video we're going to take a really in-depth look at what is beneath you, break down the individual components and give you all the vital stats. So let's take a look at those wheels then. You've got different sizes, you've got 24 inch, you've got 26 inch, you've got 27.5, and then the big ones, the 29-inch wheels. And that comes down to the rim diameter. So you've got your rim here, then you've got your spokes, you can get these bladed, you can get them straight, all sorts. We're gonna get into that in a little bit. And then, of course, you've got the central part, which is this hub right here. You've got bearings on the side of there, and then this thing right here, well, that's your Freehub. Okay, so first things first, let's take a look at what actual axle widths those hubs come in. Taking the front wheel, you've got a standard QR, and then this one here is a little bit bigger. You can actually see that it's a 15mm diameter. You can also get that in a 20mm, and then you've got the boost option, which is 110mm in width, 15 or 20 depending on your fork. Let's pick up that rear wheel though, because there's slightly more options here and it is a little bit more complicated. So you can already see that that is actually a lot wider, just to get that cassette onto the wheel itself. And then you can get these in quick release, which is normally 135. You can then get it in 142 and also 148, which is that boost option too. But for those big downhill bikes, you actually find they've got a wider hub spacing just to give it a little bit more strength and rigidity. You'll get it into 150mm and also even 156mm for some of those newer bikes. So it's quite an option, and if you're thinking about getting new wheels, then this is the main consideration you should be thinking about, because you don't want to get that in the wrong size. Okay, so what I want to actually talk about now is the Freehub, and this little thing is what really drives the wheel forward. But in this case, first of all, what I want to talk about is the different sizes that you get it. So you can get it in a SRAM XD driver body, which is this, or you can actually get it in a Shimano Freehub, which has got slightly longer splines all the way along the Freehub body. But what's really interesting about this thing is the pawls, and that's these little things right here, which are actually on springs, and they just spring back and forth. And when they're connected to the ratchet system of the hub, that is what allows you to accelerate. The biggest decision that you've got to make is about that rim, and this comes down to the material. You can either go for a carbon one or an aluminium one. If you go for that alloy one, then it's going to be a lot cheaper. You're going to save a lot of money if you do need to replace that rim at any point. Also, one big thing that a lot of people don't actually realize is when you dent that rim, it can quite often save you from a puncture. But the carbon rim, and this is something that I'm quite new to. I've not really ridden one all that much, but it does really improve the ride of the bike. It makes it a lot more stiffer. So when you're really pushing the bike into those turns, you've got extra grip. The pressure is really going through the tires. It's not moving, and it's a lot easier to maintain too. It's not gonna go out of true so easily. But the big thing about rim choice is make sure that if you are buying new wheels, that you get them tubeless ready. This has got to be one of the best upgrades for your bike. Sticking with rims, what I want to talk about is this internal rim width right here. What you're going to find is if you've got a wider one, then it's just going to change that tire profile. You've got a larger volume, so it's going to dampen some of those small bumps, especially when you're going through rock gardens. And then in turns, you're going to have a lot more grip. Personally, for me, I like to have a bit of a wider rim, especially when I'm riding enduro. The wider the rim, you're going to have a bigger tire profile, which can lead to punctures. So just experiment, do some research, and find out what really suits your riding style. Okay, so we've talked about that rim choice, we've broken down the hub and told you each part that's in there. There is one thing left to talk about, and that's the spokes. These guys that connect everything together and ensure that you've got a super strong wheel. What I want to talk about though is a traditional J-bend versus this style here, which is a straight pull. You can see the spoke goes right in through the hub flange and all the way to the nipple. So if you do break one of these, then it is dead easy to replace, but there are some trade-offs too. You can actually find that these can sometimes seize into the hub or into the nipple, and they can be really hard to actually tension back up. With bladed spokes and the straight pull, they're a little bit easier to sort of adjust and sort out, but the J-bend is sort of the traditional, the easier one to do, but it does have its weaknesses. You might have found that you've snapped a spoke right up there, and that is what the straight pull wheel really eliminates. And if I was you, if you're gonna get custom built wheels and you can find a hub that suits the straight pull spoke, then go for it. Okay, so there is the wheel hopefully explained. There is only one point that I've missed, and I probably think that's the nipples. I'm sure you're gonna pick it up and ask some questions about it. Well, you need to go for brass or alloy ones right here. And then the cool thing is you can actually color coordinate these to your hubs or any other anodized parts in the bike. Hopefully I've explained it all. If you've got any questions, then please leave in the comments down below and we'll do our very best to answer them. If you want to watch some more videos from GMBN, then make sure that you click right on that globe because you'll never miss another one. And then click up there to find out, is upgrading your wheels worth it? Click down there for how to fit and choose new wheels. And then there's only 2 things left to do. If you found this useful, then give it a share and a thumb up like.